for continuing our Hilltopper Fall Preview. We're standing with volleyball head coach Sean Donahue. Coach Donahue, thank you for coming on board and talking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted to ask you about, you have a very young squad this season. You lost a lot of seniors, and I think the big question on everybody's mind that's been following the program, how are you going to replace Michelle Hunt?
She's an All-American. I don't think you can ever replace somebody like that. You just kind of see what you have with your new group, and hopefully somebody will step up and, take it. Maybe one person, maybe a couple of people that step up and, help contribute to the stats she gave us. So, but it's hard to replace somebody who's a leader and an All-American like that.
Coach, you mentioned that you have a new group of players joining your squad this season. How do you feel that they'll assimilate with the returning players that you have from last year?
I think they'll do good well. The personalities seem to match well. When we had them in on visits, the team really liked them. And over the summer, I know that some of them have been in contact. So I think it'll mix in, hoping that'll happen real fast, that they'll kind of intermix and get to know each other real fast.
Coach, you guys always play a tough non-conference schedule, and you guys are opening up this season with a tournament here at home. How are you going to use that to judge what you have on the court?
We'll test out some lineups, and early in the season, you're kind of feeling your way through, especially with this many new players. But we're playing some tough regional matchups that we have to win if we're looking to go to regional, so can't mess around too much. It'll be a challenging schedule this year as usual.
As you have mentioned, it's always a challenge to go through the Heartland Conference. The last couple of seasons has really been between you here at St. Edward's University and the University of Arkansas Fort Smith. Is that one of those games that you might have circled on your calendar coming up the season?
They're always on our mind. Jane had puts together a really good program up there at Fort Smith, and they lost their big go-to player last year, like we lost Michelle. So it'll be kind of interesting to see where they're at and who they brought in, and kind of the same thing for us. They'll have to see who we brought in. So I got a feeling it'll be a very good contest both here and there. So.
Talking about contests, since you do have all those new players on your squad, how competitive are things within the locker room? Everybody vying for a spot right now. I'm assuming that must be open-ended at this point.
Yeah, I tell the players everybody starts new every year, and no different this year. And it's been competitive thus far in the preseason, and I think it'll be throughout the year. We'll have people stepping up at different times, which is good. I think that'll help us have a little depth on this team.
Coach, I noticed that with the new players, you have a lot of height put into this team this year. Is that something that you consciously looked for?
Not necessarily. We look for the best fit, both athletically, personality-wise, academically, for our program, and it just happened that we were lucky enough to find some ones that were tall. So,
and Coach, one final question for you. Ultimately, what is your goal this season?
My goal for the program every year is to be nationally competitive, and it's no different this year. Even having this young group, is that we want to go to the NCAA tournament. We want to get to the conference tournament in the championship. That's been our goal every year, and that's kind of the expectation, regardless of who's on the court or not.
Well, there you have it, folks. Head coach Sean Donahue of the volleyball program here at St. Edward's University. Thank you again for taking your time out to talk with us.
Thank you for having me.
Simmons, I'm joined along with Sports Information Director here at St. Edward's University, Logan Lawrence, and we are talking Hilltopper volleyball. Well, Logan, let's admit, it is no secret there's lots of new faces on this Hilltopper squad this season, and they're going to have to replace a lot of talent that has left.
One being Michelle Hunt, two-time All-American, the libero for the last 4 years for the Hilltoppers. She's the all-time Diggs leader for St. Edward's in school history, and she's going to be tough to replace. The Hilltoppers and Coach Donahue feel that they can't replace her. However, they do have some quality athletes that are willing to take the chance, I guess, or if you will, make the charge. Rebecca Schnabel is one who has been looking good at libero. She's moving from an outside hitter, defensive specialist position over to libero. Of course, Jessica Morales, who is a 2-year letter winner, she's coming into her junior year. She's also looking to mix. And there are a couple of freshmen that will be added to the mix as well. Of course, not only did they lose their libero, they lost 2 of their starting 3 middle blockers, Meredith Bard and Letra Ware. And so it's not just the libero's position that they are thinned out a little bit in and looking to replace talent, but also the middle blocker position as well. Well, not to mention they're also looking to replace a setter. The Hilltoppers run a 2-setter system, and Lauren Kelly, who saw a lot of time along with Amy Johnson, they're both back. They split the time at the second setter position, but at the first setter, Mary McNamara is gone. She's graduated. So the Hilltoppers will look for who's going to fill those 2 slots. The Hilltoppers also return outside hitter Mary Kohler, as well as middle blocker Alyssa Stanton. So those added in with a couple of Division I transfers and some talented freshmen. The Hilltoppers have a lot of questions to be answered, but the Hilltopper staff, Sean Donahue and assistant coach Kim Morgul, feel that they've restocked the shelves, if you will. But the Hilltopper coaching staff, head coach Sean Donahue and assistant coach Kim Morgul, feel like they've reloaded in the talent department, and the key is, how does that talent fit together and team chemistry and what's going to be the right lineup to put out there on the floor.
Logan, the league coaches and the media members have picked the Hilltoppers to finish third in the Heartland Conference. Do you think that's where they should be?
I don't know if they should be third, but to be honest with you, I think the top spot's up for grabs this year because most of the best teams lost their key player, and so it's who's going to be able to replace their stud, if you will. Hilltoppers are looking, as I said, to replace Michelle Hunt, but Arkansas Forest Smith and Dallas Baptist also lost their key players as well. And so I say 1 through 3, possibly even 4, those could be interchangeable on anybody's ballot. So I think it was a pretty close vote, and therefore, Fort Smith is going to be the favorite because they have gone on to regionals the last 2 years. So, they've earned that right.
Well, that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Apparently, I know our rivalry is with St. Mary's, but for the last 2 seasons in volleyball, it's been University of Arkansas Fort Smith and the Hilltoppers. Do you think that's going to determine who's going to win the conference this year as well?
I don't know if you can just point to just Fort Smith because Dallas Baptist has been a formidable opponent the last 5 years, and St. Mary's is getting better every year. And so I think in volleyball, it's much different than other sports in the Heartland Conference. There's not a true rival. They're all rivals, if you ask me, because they're so evenly matched most of the time. And like I said, 1 through 4, 1 through 5, there's not much separating the teams in those. So it could be anybody's conference championship this year. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, the Hilltoppers start off with a tournament here at home. You think this is going to be a good chance to judge some of the talent that's going to be on the squad?
Absolutely. You play some teams from some different regions, and so Coach Donahue is going to have to, find that right mix, like you said. These games do count because you are working for a net large bid as well, but of course the conference schedule is the key part of the season schedule because of the automatic bid that volleyball has, and so therefore you're allotted a few games to kind of work out the kinks and find your right mix. So I think we're going to see a lot of different people out on the floor this first weekend, and we'll see who comes out on top. I'm sure it's going to be a healthy battle, though, between everybody because they've got a lot of talent and a lot of people are fighting for playing time, which is a good thing to have.
Well, the Hilltoppers will open up action on September 6th here at the RCC in the Hilltopper Rattlers Volleyball Classic. You can check out more at the website, gohilltoppers.com, for a full schedule and slate of the games. So you have been watching the Volleyball Fall Preview.